Something has shifted in Nigeria's long and bloody war against terrorism and banditry. The sound of missiles falling on Lakurawa terrorist enclaves in Tangaza and Tambuwal local government areas of Sokoto state did more than destroy camps. It scattered men. Men who for years terrorized communities with guns and motorcycles are no longer standing their ground in the northwest. They are moving quietly, in small numbers, under cover of fear. And the biggest question Nigerians are now asking is this: where are they going? The US airstrikes that hit Lakurawa terrorist hideouts shortly after Christmas marked a dramatic escalation in Nigeria's counter-terrorism fight. For the first time in years, terrorists who once felt untouchable realized that they could be tracked from the air and struck without warning. Security sources and community leaders in Sokoto confirmed that the strikes threw terrorist networks into disarray. Camps were abandoned, familiar routes were deserted, command structures were disrupted. And when criminals lose safe havens, they do what criminals always do: they flee. But they are not disappearing into thin air. If terrorists are running from the north, do you think Nigeria is prepared for where they may resurface next? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Now, across the country, governors are beginning to sound alarms. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke recently raised concerns about the influx of strange people suspected to be Fulani bandits into his state. Enugu State echoed similar worries. Now, Benue State has officially joined the list. In Gwer West and Agatu local government areas of Benue State, the chairman of the Traditional Council, Daniel Abomse, says he has personally noticed armed herders moving openly with sophisticated weapons. They are running away from Sokoto to coastal areas, he said. They are grazing openly. They are in my domain. These are not casual migrants. These are not ordinary herders. These are men fleeing pressure. Should states wait for attacks before acting, or is early warning enough to justify immediate action? Comment below. One uncomfortable truth about counterterrorism is this: success in one region often creates pressure elsewhere. The US-Nigeria joint military action may have weakened terrorist strongholds in Sokoto, but it has also triggered a ripple effect across the country. Bandits who once operated freely in the northwest are now seeking anonymity in unfamiliar territories, blending into forests, farmlands, and rural communities in the southwest, southeast, and middle belt. And this is why the debate has shifted. The question is no longer, did the airstrikes work? The question is, what happens next? If you believe this discussion affects every Nigerian, please like this video to spread awareness.
Let's look at the main issues that need to worry not only the people of Benue State, but the entire Middle Belt, Southwest, Southeast, and South-South. These terrorists that are running away from the Northwest are in two groups: the Lakurawas and indigenous Fulani bandits, though both groups are Fulanis. The Lakurawas are Malian Fulanis that were brought in by the people in Tangaza local government area to help them secure them from the indigenous Fulani bandits that were rustling their cattle and kidnapping them for ransom. They didn't know they brought in not just criminals, but religious extremists who later became more dangerous than the indigenous Fulanis. Shortly after they had settled, they started rustling their cattle, following them in their homes to confiscate anything that they could sell to get money. The Lakurawas also began to impose their religious ideologies on the locals, and anybody who tends to resist it is punished. They committed all manner of atrocities. They treated locals as slaves and commanded them at their will. Imagine having the Lakurawas and members of splinter groups of indigenous Fulanis like the Belu Torjis coming to join the existing Fulani bandits in Benue State. You know the crime rate will not only grow, but it will be brutal.
Now, across the country, governors are beginning to sound alarms. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke recently raised concerns about the influx of strange people suspected to be Fulani bandits into his state. Enugu State echoed similar worries. Now, Benue State has officially joined the list. In Gwer West and Agatu local government areas of Benue State, the chairman of the Traditional Council, Daniel Abomse, says he has personally noticed armed herders moving openly with sophisticated weapons. They are running away from Sokoto to coastal areas, he said. They are grazing openly. They are in my domain. These are not casual migrants. These are not ordinary herders. These are men fleeing pressure. Should states wait for attacks before acting, or is early warning enough to justify immediate action? Comment below. One uncomfortable truth about counterterrorism is this: success in one region often creates pressure elsewhere. The US-Nigeria joint military action may have weakened terrorist strongholds in Sokoto, but it has also triggered a ripple effect across the country. Bandits who once operated freely in the northwest are now seeking anonymity in unfamiliar territories, blending into forests, farmlands, and rural communities in the southwest, southeast, and middle belt. And this is why the debate has shifted. The question is no longer, did the airstrikes work? The question is, what happens next? If you believe this discussion affects every Nigerian, please like this video to spread awareness.
In Benue State, the concern feels urgent. Traditional ruler Daniel Abomse didn't just raise an alarm. He praised the US strengths and called for them to be extended to Benue, Kogi, Taraba, Niger, and Plateau states. What President Trump has done is the best thing to have happened to Nigeria, he said, noting that terrorism has plagued the country for over 16 years. His message is clear: pressure must be sustained or terrorists will simply relocate and regroup. Yet, as of the time of reporting, the Benue State Police Command had not officially confirmed these claims, highlighting another long-standing problem in Nigeria's security architecture: the gap between community intelligence and official response. Why do you think community warnings are often ignored until it's too late? Drop your opinion below. However, back in Sokoto, the mood is cautious relief. Community leaders in Tangaza, Gudu, and parts of Ilele say the strikes forced armed groups to abandon known camps. Some moved toward remote forest corridors. Others attempted to cross into border communities to evade surveillance. A community leader in Tangaza described the impact simply: the airstrike sent a strong signal. For once, terrorists were reacting instead of attacking. But state officials know better to celebrate too early. Intelligence assessments are ongoing. Border patrols have been intensified. Joint operations are being strengthened to block escape routes. The goal now is not just to chase terrorists away, but to prevent them from reappearing elsewhere.
Security experts warn that these fleeing terrorists follow patterns. They often move on motorcycles. They travel in groups. They prefer forested or farming communities. They test new territories quietly before striking. Residents across Nigeria are being urged to stay alert, not paranoid, but vigilant. See strange groups arriving suddenly. See armed men posing as herders. Notice unfamiliar faces moving in coordinated numbers. Report them to the police, to local vigilantes, to local community leaders and traditional rulers. Do you believe local communities are doing enough to share intelligence, or are fear and mistrust still holding people back? Comment below. As these fears grow, the conversation around state police is gaining renewed urgency. Plateau State has taken a decisive step by launching its own state-owned security outfit to complement federal efforts. The move is being seen as proactive, an acknowledgement that centralized policing alone may not be enough. Supporters argue that local security outfits understand terrain, language, and community dynamics better. Critics worry about abuse and politicization. But one thing is clear: communities want protection that is close, responsive, and accountable. Subscribe to this channel if you want honest conversations about Nigeria's security future. Now, Nigeria is a nation at a crossroads. It stands at a delicate moment. The US airstrikes have shaken terrorist confidence. Joint military action has sent a message. But displacement without containment can create new crises. If terrorists flee Sokoto only to destabilize Osun, Enugu, or Benue, then the problem has not been solved. It has only moved. This is why experts insist that military action must be followed by coordinated nationwide intelligence, strong border control, community engagement, rapid response mechanisms. Anything less creates space for reinvention. Should Nigeria treat terrorism as a regional problem or a truly national emergency? Tell us what you think. Nonetheless, in times like this, security is no longer the job of soldiers alone. Residents are being called upon to know their neighbors, question strange movements, speak up early, trust verified security channels. Silence has cost lives before, and as terrorists regroup under pressure, early information may save entire communities. If you believe citizens must be part of the security solution, like and share this video. The US airstrikes have proven one thing: terrorists respond to strength. But strength must be consistent, coordinated, and nationwide. If Nigeria sustains pressure, military, intelligence, and community-based, this moment could mark the beginning of real progress. If not, the danger simply shifts location, and Nigeria cannot afford another cycle of denial. Terrorists may be running. The question is, are we ready for where they might land next? Do not forget to like and subscribe for in-depth, fact-based national security analysis.